How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well, better than me because I am suffering from influenza. So please excuse me if I'm not my normal self. Today's lesson is lesson number 10. We're at Rabbi Miller's, I think, we're at the fifth commandment of his 10 commandments, and that is be loyal. Be loyal to your spouse. Be loyal. All right. So here's a guy who has plans Wednesday night. He's going out with his friends. He's going to have a great night with all his friends. His wife texts him in the middle of the day and she tells him, "Hi, I'm not feeling so good." And he says, "Oh, I hope you feel better." And he goes out with his friends. That's a total lack of loyalty. Here's a guy who goes out with his friends and he promises his wife will be home at 11. And at 10:45, when he could get in the car and go home, his friends are still doing one more thing or having one more drink. And instead of getting in his car and going home, he says, "You know what? I'll stay." Even though he promised his wife to be home at a certain time. That's a lack of loyalty. Be loyal to your spouse. So I get in trouble when I said names last time, but I have to say this story with names. So I'm going to make up names that can never be in our community. You have Juan and Juanita. Okay, Juan is the husband, Juanita clearly the wife. And Juan, his mother and father are very overbearing. Juan's an only child, and his father supports Juan because he works and Juan works for his father in his company. So basically, everything they have is from Juan's parents. But Juan's mother is constantly coming over at random times in the day, walking into the house, criticizing Juanita on everything from the way the window shades look to how she cooks. One day she'll just walk in and just say, "Oh my goodness, this rug in the living room needs to be changed. It doesn't match the couches." And a week later, there'll be a new rug in the living room. And it's really all nice, fine, and dandy and beautiful, but after a while, Juanita can't handle it. So she goes to her husband Juan and she says, "Honey, you got to tell your parents, you got to tell your mother. She just can't come over randomly and she can't criticize me." The other day, I was talking to our little daughter, Juanita Jr., and I told her something, and your mother interjected and said, "No, no, 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 that's fine, leave her alone." She can't criticize me or tell me what to do in front of my own children, not when I'm disciplining my own children. What should Juan do? So Juan goes to his rabbi, and his rabbi obviously says, the pasuk clearly says, "Aken yazov ish et aviv et imo, v'dabach v'ishto." A person should leave his mother and father and cling to his wife. Your loyalty is now to your wife. It's not to your parents. It's also not to your original upbringing. You know, for the first couple of years of marriage, a person sometimes struggles getting used to things that his wife grew up with that he doesn't grow up with. Be it the way she makes the hamid, the way she cooks, the way she cleans, or the way she wants him to dress. He's not used to it, so he's uncomfortable. But your loyalty has to lie with your wife. Your loyalty cannot be with what was originally when you were growing up. Another manifestation of a lack of loyalty. You know, the Rambam writes, amazingly, the Rambam says that if you have a king, and the king is the leader of the country, and he wants to take the country in a bad direction, it's better that everybody gets behind him in a bad direction than there is dissenting views and nobody does anything. Even if those dissenting views may be right, but if it'll stop the country from moving forward, it's better get behind the guy who's wrong and everybody's united than there's dissenting views. And never could this be said more clearly than with dealing with children. Here's a guy who was a teenager. Nowadays, teenager years start much younger, 9, 10, 11. And here's a teenager who comes to his father. He's 13, 14. He does, "Well, listen, Dad, I got in trouble in school, and mommy now is not letting me play video games. She won't let me go to my friends. She won't let me watch TV. She won't let me use my phone. Could you talk to her? Could you tell her, please?" So right then and there, you have a choice. Even if you think your wife is wrong, which is probably not, but even if you think your wife is wrong, right then and there, you have a choice. I'm either going to get behind the king and show that there is a, well, for lack of a better word, there's a mahalach here. There's a system here. We have a way of going about things. We have a protocol. Mommy said this, I'm sorry, this is what your mother said. Or you could show a lack of loyalty and throw your wife under the bus and tell your son, "I'll talk to mommy." to which you just made it that forever and ever, your wife and even you are criticizable and are able to be reproached, are able to be changed in a situation with your children. And that's scary. Show loyalty to your wife is to show loyalty even when you think she's wrong with something as important as bringing up the kids. You show loyalty and you stand behind her. Never, ever, ever change in front of the children her pathway to bringing up the kids. Behind closed doors, 100%. But you guys are a team, and a team means you are together, and you are together against the world. Your wife is right. And against all your friends, your loyalty has to be with your wife over your friends, over your parents, over your children, your wife. You know, there's a very important thing to add to this is that Rabbi Miller says that you guys are a team. And he says, yes, it is true. The husband is captain and the wife is first mate. And nowhere in any one of these voice notes are we saying that the husband is not in charge of the home. He's in charge. But being in charge of the home means you get behind the first mate. Being in charge of the home doesn't mean you're, God forbid, a tyrant, which we'll talk about in a later. Doesn't mean, God forbid, you're bossy. It doesn't mean, God forbid, that you're power hungry. What it means, though, is that everything that happens in the home, you're in charge of. It has to fit your approval. But when your wife already did something, when your wife already said, this has to be done for the children, and she already told it to the children, and you're not changing that, you get behind her 1,000%. So then this lesson is be loyal. Hi, hope everybody is doing well. So task number 10 on be loyal is ask your wife for something that she wants done around the house or something she needs help with, and do it. So before I say that, one disclaimer. I'm sorry, I'm suffering from the flu. Yes, it's the flu, not COVID. How do I know this? Because everybody in my family went to the doctor, was negative COVID, and then positive for something. The doctor came out with, he says, there's this new disease going around. It's called the flu. We were shocked. We never heard of it before, but everybody's got it. So now after a round of Tamiflu, I'm in bed the whole day today. So please excuse me if I don't sound like I'm as energetic as I usually am, or perhaps as thoughtful, if I am thoughtful. I'm sorry. I am suffering from a condition. But anyway, the task of the day, task number 10. Because the lesson was to be loyal, we are going to be loyal and help our wife do something that she needs around the house. Go to your wife today and ask her, is there anything that you need me to do? If it's change a light bulb, if it's help you with the dishes, if it's throw out the garbage. Ask your wife for something that she needs help with, even if it's helping her with her own work. If your wife is a secretary and she has some extra things she needs help with, or she's, whatever she does. But help her with something that she could use help with, and that's a great way to be loyal. Have a great day.